Well, whole student education means when a student is fully seen, heard, and known. And so preparing someone beyond college is thinking 20 years out, right? Who is that person going to be? And how can the school help them be that person while they're here and discover themselves? Whole student education is going below the iceberg. And most education focuses on the tip, right? Everything that's on the surface. But going below the iceberg means, really digging into who you are emotionally, physically, mentally. What are your relationships like? And what kind of issues do you want to step out on and represent?
Whole student education, much like the title infers, it really is a holistic approach to learning and teaching. And it reflects the opportunity for the students to learn not just the academic, but the social, the cultural, and some of the softer nuances about being successful in life. Primarily, we're concerned in educating students and having students become successful in life. And to some extent, they need to be able to participate in that. And so very often, students at a young age don't really know the direction they want to go. But if they can learn some metrics in terms of just how to be successful in life, how to provide for themselves, how to be happy, those are the things that the whole student education will help prepare the student for. And then once they discover a pathway that they choose, then they'll have even that much more success.
I think being a boarding school, you get to live on campus, so you see your teachers as just humans. They're not just your history teacher or your math teacher. They have families, they have pets, they're walking around campus, they're living their lives, they're inviting you to their home for dinner, or they're taking you out to get coffee. They're less of an authoritative figure when you live on a campus because you get to see them live their normal life. Like, I've gone on dog walks with my math teacher and it's been fun, and we don't talk about math, we talk about just life. And so it's less of like you strictly teach me in school and you're actually just a person and you're here to help me as a teenager and how to grow as a human being.
If you give students the opportunity to practice, to try, to experience while they're in school, the things they may do out in the world and not just about tests, then you give the students an opportunity to exercise the human being they're going to be so they can have the impact as a human being forever. The idea of enduring understandings, things that stay with you, not just what you've learned, what you've memorized, or what you know the meaning of, but what you can transfer to new things.
I think I'm most excited about the concept of inclusion. I'm excited about the fact that there have been so many young people who have been locked out of education, and therefore whole societies are missing out. Those students who have not been included in the process at the fullest level have very often been relegated to taking a pathway that's not really their own. They don't know all the opportunities that are out there. So I'm very excited about, as we look at this whole student education, which in part and parcel involves inclusion. I think we're about to see an explosion in terms of creativity. I think we're about to see an explosion in terms of opportunity. I think we will see a reduction in terms of people being depressed and dissatisfied with their lives. I think we'll find a situation where people are pursuing their purpose and their passion as opposed to the dollar.
Core values of Dunn School are things that we want to instill in the students by the time they graduate. There are opportunities that we have in the classroom and outside of the classroom, advisory and the residential curriculum that are about these core values. So all of the values are built in a sequential order. So you need to have the ones at the beginning to build towards the ones at the end. So first comes emotional wellness. Every student needs to be emotionally well, feeling like they're ready to be a student here. After that, physically ready. Are you hungry? Are you sleepy? Are you ready to be physically in a classroom? Then comes intellectual growth. Then you can be curious. Then you can be in the classroom. Then you can be learning and asking questions. But that's not enough. Social responsibility comes next. The ability to build connections with your peers, to build community, to be a community leader. And then moral courage. Can you now step forward, represent what you hold dear, be an advocate, and do the good that you can do in the world?
I think as a new pathway, in terms of what we're doing at Dunn, We certainly recognize the importance of academic, but in the past, I think we may have put too much emphasis, not only for Dunn students, but students in general, on the academics. It doesn't make for a well-rounded individual. And so with these core values, we raise the bar in such a way that says if you're not physically ready, then you may not be able to do the things that you need to do, even academically or otherwise. If you are not focused in some way, shape, or form on moral courage, then the tools that we give you won't serve society well. And so I'm excited that we are teaching from a perspective of core values, as opposed to simply an academic push that may lead you down a pathway, but not necessarily your pathway.
My experience here at Dunn has been wonderful. I never actually saw myself going to a boarding school, but I went to a boarding school fair and fell in love with just the whole idea of Dunn and how you're constantly surrounded by people, you're constantly with your friends, but you also get to know your teachers on a not strictly academic level. Like, I see my teacher walking her dog every Saturday. I see them at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're constantly surrounding me, so it kind of breaks down that wall of a student-teacher relationship, and they're more just kind of like a friend and like another family member far from home. I've had so many incredible memories. I've played sports, I've been super involved with leadership, and I don't think that would have been possible if I wasn't here 24/7. I really understand what Dunn's mission is, the core values, kind of just how it is, because I live it 24/7. I'm here all the time. I'm with my friends, and it's so much fun. And I've gotten to learn so much because I've learned a lot about myself and how to be independent and not be dependent on my parents because I'm not with them.
Tony Dunn was an entrepreneur. When he started this school, he said, I'm gonna go out there and do it. The parents that came together, the families that came together, they thought about this in an entrepreneurial way. And over time, Tony Dunn hired teachers who themselves were entrepreneurial. They were like, you know what? Education, rote memorization, standardization, that's not what I want to do. I want to build relationships. I want to go out there and do these things. Over time, at this school, an entrepreneurial program began. And over time, we started to have these classes that students built here. But the big win for us is one of those students from many, many years ago came back and said, you know, I really want to honor the teacher that put me on the path. Now, I've become this great entrepreneur in life. I've started all these businesses in life, and I wouldn't have done that if I wasn't at the Dunn School. And I want the Dunn School to systematize it.
To me, the entrepreneurship program at Dunn, is the time right? Absolutely right. Why? There's been a convergence here. There's been a very unique convergence that I've observed. We have the right headmaster. I just sold my company. What luck. Now I have the money to help pay for this thing. There's already a teacher here already teaching this program, Chad Stacy, who with a little more fuel could make this thing hugely successful. What luck, right? So, I have a remarkable grasp of the obvious. It's obvious to me that there's been a convergence, a very rare and special, natural and organic convergence of talent, money, time, and is the world ready for this? The world's always ready for innovators.
We try to optimize time and space to foster teacher-student relationships so that you're always on a campus that's open 24/7, and it's a campus that allows for you as a student to have advisory, to have a dorm parent, to have a coach or a teacher who may all be the same person. And so you have these adults who are dedicated, who wear many hats, who are around all the time, that you can intersect with, you can eat dinner with, lunch with, breakfast with, and they get to see you, and they get to reflect back to you like a mirror would on who you're becoming.